Hey YouTube, what is up? Welcome to my channel, welcome to my video. Today I am going to talk about Mailerlite, and I'm going to show you how to use the Mailerlite free account to create pop-ups and embedded forms on your WordPress site. So first we'll show you how to create those pop-ups using the free account, and then we're going to hop over to WordPress and I'm going to show you how to very easily add those embedded forms and pop-ups to your WordPress site. So Mailerlite, if you don't know, is an autoresponder service. They have a free account. You can click the blue button to sign up for free. The link is down below. That's my referral link. If you use the referral link and you end up signing up for a paid account, then we will both get a coupon. That's what the referral link is. It's not an affiliate link, it's a referral link. So I'm going to switch over here to my account. This is the what it looks like for the free account. You get 1,000 subscribers and 12,000 emails. That is plenty to get started with. It's really enough. If you get close to 1,000 subscribers, you should be making way more than $10 or $15 a month. A lot more. So their first tier is $10 a month. It's the same 1,000 subscribers. You don't get additional subscribers. They just turn on all the additional features. And then if you go above the 1,000 subscribers for $15 a month, you get to 2,500, and it goes on like that. But I wanted to mention this $10 a month one because you'll see in a minute that there's some features that you can only get on the premium level of account at that $10. So I'm going to show you that now. So when we want to make a form, after you sign up and log in, you'll be on your dashboard. You'll click over here to Forms, and this is going to take us to the Forms window. This is where you manage your forms. You have a little submenu here. You have pop-ups, embedded forms, and promotions. Now, promotions are the one I was talking about that you can only use. They're not available in the free plan. You can only use them if you upgrade to at minimum that $10 a month plan. You can make the promotions, which I did here. You can see. You just can't activate them. They're disabled. But I'm going to show you that anyway because they work exactly the same as pop-ups, but they give you some additional options which are pretty cool. So I'm just gonna, while we're in here, we'll just go through all of them. Why not? So let's go back up to the pop-ups, and this is where you manage everything. So these are all your pop-ups that I've created. These are just a bunch of test pop-ups, and if you click this little button here, you can rename them. You can duplicate one, which really comes in handy, or you could just click on delete and delete it. Don't worry, it's just a test pop-up. It's not important. I have not activated any of my pop-ups yet. So we're going to create a new pop-up right now. Click this orange button, create pop-up. Give it a name. I'm going to go with the old test pop 4. Save and continue. From here, it is going to bring us to our group selection. So when you're in your autoresponder and you get people to sign up for your mailing list, every subscriber goes into a group. So you have at least one group. They all go into a group. Generally what I do, and I created, you can see a bunch of different test groups just experimenting. But generally what I do is each offer that I have or each product that the person signs up for, they go into a different group. And that's how you keep everyone organized, by using these groups. So I'm not going to get totally into that. Just know that when you're in your autoresponder, you'll create various groups. Groups are categories of subscribers. So I'm just, for this pop-up, we're just going to take test group A. You can select multiple ones. And then we're going to scroll down here and save and continue. And then what comes up now these are all the templates that we can use for the pop-ups, right? So we have this e-commerce one. We have a little travel one. This here is a design shop, and then another one over here. So they're all the same. This is a full screen one, so it'll take up the entire screen, as opposed to these guys are just little windows. So if you hover over them, you can hit preview. So let's just preview this main one. So this is what it will look like on your website. It's going to pop up with a box and just some text and then your email. And I'll show you how we can modify that very easily. And if you want to use it, you just click use this template, or you can scroll here to the next one. This one is very similar, but it adds in a little background for you. This is a little bit bigger, and it has a side image, and an additional capture field. And then this one is the full screen one. It'll not be a window, it'll overlay on top of your entire website when it pops up. Personally, I don't like these ones that take up the entire website. I think they're a little, for me personally, they're just obtrusive, but whatever works for you, you can go with. I don't know statistically which one's better. I just know that I don't like when I go to a website and the whole website is covered up by this just ginormous pop-up. I just doesn't sit right with me. I'm just going to keep it simple here and go with this first e-commerce one. So I'm going to click use this template, and it's going to take us into the template editor. So once this template editor loads, it's going a little slow today. Here we go. We have control to change all this stuff. So this is all drag and drop. See, if I hover over here and click on these, I can just type and change the values of everything, or I could change the style to bold. I can underline it, whatever I want. And the same with the background. If I click save here, and I can change my background around. I could change the form type a little bit. So if I click this middle panel, you see now that the form is down here. It's a bar. It turns into a bar as opposed to a pop-up in the middle of the screen. And then this one is a pop-up that sits down in the lower corner of your screen. So I'm going to go back to the center-based pop-up. We could change the background colors. It's all just click. We can add an image if we want, or we could just change the color. So we want to go with purple. We could do that. We could change our text style. We could change our text color. We could change our size. I can make it bigger, make it smaller. I can change the font family. We could change the label also. These are the, we can make these bigger. It's all the same. So for each type of text, you have a color, you have a size, you have the font, and then you have the weight, normal or bold. The same for the button. So in here we have the title, we have the text, we have the input, which is what's inside here. The label is what would be on some forms. You'll have a label over here. The label will be next to the input box. We don't have one on this form. You have the button. You can change the color of the button. So I'll show you this. The cool thing about the button is it has a background and it has a hover color, right? So let's just say we want to make the background blue. And then we can make the hover color a different color. So let's say we make the hover color a green. This little green here is good. So now what happens is it's blue button, but when I hover over it, it changes to that, what is an awful green that I selected. So that's pretty cool because it can bring some attention to the button when a person hovers over it. And then the last piece is this little close, which is the X here, which I normally don't even mess with that. I just leave it the same. So that's our design. It's all basically either click and select the settings. Very simple to do. If we go over here to the settings, these are the form settings, right? So the pop-up closes an icon. That's this little thing right here. You have text and you have icon plus text as choices. I don't know that on this version the text works. Yeah, I didn't think it did. So I just leave it as icon. It probably works on some variations, but not on the center pop-up. So if we select this confirmation checkbox, you get a little additional checkbox here to opt in. I don't do that. This is adds a bunch of GDPR compliant type stuff. If you're outside of the US, this might be important. I'm not going to get into that stuff either because that's a long discussion. These are just some other options. Interest groups. You could set up a bunch of different interest groups. These are the groups we select in the beginning. Since I only selected one, I only get one choice here. Had I selected multiple groups and had them named appropriately, they could select which group they actually want to pick to go into. And then here, This is a segmentation field. Segmentation is another feature that Mailerlite offers. So you could attach sort of a tracking code that will allow you to tag anyone who uses this form in your list. And then this one here just puts this little box down here that says I'm not a robot. You can decide if you want to use that or not. I don't. It just prevents people from doing, spamming your form or signing up in an automated way with a bot or something like that. So most of these I don't use. I just use the basic pop-up. And then when I have it the way I want it, I'm just going to hit next. So that saves and it brings me over here to the behavior. And this determines how we want the pop-up to work. So it's defaulted to 5 seconds. Waits 5 seconds. So I'm going to turn that off. You could set this up. I would not do 5 seconds. I don't like 5 seconds personally, but you can do whatever you want. I usually do it. If I'm going to do an automatic pop-up based on time, I would do 30 seconds. But what I usually do is when they scroll to 50%, meaning that they land on your WordPress site and they start scrolling down, and when the scroll bar gets about halfway down the page, the pop-up will pop up. And that's a good point for me, I believe, to ask the user to sign up for your list, because it shows that they're scrolling down, they're actually staying on your site for a while and apparently looking for something on your site, or they're interested in your site. So to me, that's a good way to do it. And then this last one is show before closing. This is sort of like an exit intent pop. So if you click that one when the user goes to leave the page, the pop-up will appear. Now down here in frequency, what we have is, this is select the period you want to show the pop-up to the same user again. This is once a month, so that if the same user came back again the next day, this pop-up wouldn't re-show if they had either signed up or closed it previously. What I usually do is one day, every day. So if they come multiple times in a day, they won't keep getting constant pop-ups, but if they leave and come back the next day, they'll get the pop-up again one time. And then down here you have your visibility. You can decide how you want it to show. It defaults to always show, which is good for me. I leave it on that one. But you can hide it from specific pages or only show it on specific pages. And this would be good. These two choices would be good as if you had multiple pop-ups and you want one pop-up for a certain page and a different pop-up for another page. So you could do that with your pop-up. And then these obviously hide it from these various devices, desktop, mobile, tablet. So once we save and continue, we're going to come here. So this is the install checker. This is the code that they give you to install this on your website, but we're not going to do that. This is the more complicated way to do it, so I don't bother with this. So if you look here, using WordPress, install or update the official Mailerlite sign up forms plugin. That's what we're going to do, and I'm going to open this so you can see it. So this is your Mailerlite. They created a plugin for WordPress that handles all this for you so that you don't have to bother installing this code. So if you click on that little link right here that I showed you, you'll come over here and you can download that and install it. Or what you can do is, if we real quick go over to my WordPress site, if you come down to plugins and you hit add new, you can just search for that. And you don't have to download it from their site. You can just get it from here. So it comes right up. If you type Mailerlite in there, you'll get it. This is it, the Mailerlite sign up forms by Mailer Group. And mine's already installed, but if it's not installed, you'll see this button similar to this one that says install now. So that's how you would install it. You would click on that install now, and magically WordPress will install for you. That's how easy it is to install this plugin. So let me hop back over here and hit next. We'll finish this pop-up and then we'll get back to WordPress. So when the pop-up's done, it takes you to this overview page. And one thing is the double opt-in is turned on, so you can keep that on or not keep that on. Double opt-in, if you're not familiar with it, means they will enter their email in the pop-up, and then when they get an email from the automated autoresponder list, it will have another confirmation which will say in the email, confirm that you wanted to subscribe to this. So that's called double opt-in. They actually have to click twice to sign up. I turn that off. You can do double opt-in or not do double opt-in, and then the status is it starts out paused. So this is not activated right now. So I'm going to activate it. And then it's good. If you have to go back in, you can hit the edit. If you want to change something around, you can preview what it looks like by hitting that preview button. That's exactly how it's going to work on your WordPress site. And then these are just all the selections we made that are reprinted here, and you can click edit to change all those selections. So let's hop back to forms, and now I'll show you the embed code. It works the same way. So we'll go through that one a little quicker. So we click create embed form. We give it a new name. Again, we select our group. Select a different group this time. Hit save and continue. And then it comes up with this little embed form. So this is your text. This is your tagline. And then this is the email that you're collecting and the subscribe button. And you can change all this stuff the same way. The same way that we did before by just typing in these boxes, highlighting stuff. You can bold it. We can save that. We can change our background. You might want to change your background to white. That's the wrong background. Sorry. You change this background to white. There. So that way, if you change it to white, it's or whatever. Actually, you should actually change it to whatever your background color is, where you're going to place it on the page. So if I was assuming that it would be white. So that way it blends in. If you make it a different color, then it doesn't blend in as well. Like if we turn it back to a gray color, you see it stands out a little bit. You may like that type of design, depending where you want to put it. You'll fool with that background color. But all this works all the same. We can change all these inputs the same as we did on the pop-up. It works exactly the same way. And then when we go over to settings, there's a couple different ones. There's a privacy policy, which adds this little tagline, which is useful. You can subscribe anytime. For more details, review our privacy policy. And you can actually, if you wanted to edit that, you could come here and you can actually put a link. By clicking on this little link button, you put a link, a hyperlink to the URL for your privacy policy. If you actually have a privacy policy on your WordPress site, get that URL, put it in here, insert that. You want to click this open link in a new tab because you don't want to navigate them away from your form. You want them to stay on the form, and you open the privacy policy in another tab. So you're going to want to click that one. Then you hit insert. So then this will become an active hyperlink that if someone's like looking at your form and they're little concerned, they can click on your privacy policy. So that's how that works. Again, we went through all these before: the confirmation checkbox, the hidden segmentation field, the GDPR compliance, the interest groups, a custom success page. This is one you wanna have here. Or you might want to have. So what will happen is if you don't have a custom success page, when they sign in, they're just going to get this little message that pops up. Thank you, you subscribed. And then when your email automation goes out, you would presumably send them a welcome email that had some links and all that you wanted them to click on to go to either download their whatever freebie you were offering or whatever offer you were sending them to. But if you didn't want to go through that process and wait for the email, you can actually click this custom success page And you can build a page on your WordPress site, and then again, you put the URL right into this box. And instead of getting this little thank you message, after a person subscribes and they hit the subscribe button, they'll be subscribed, and then they'll be redirected to whatever URL you specify here. So you can take in that way you can push them into a sales funnel or take them to a download page for a freebie. And then this, we looked at this already. This puts the I am not a robot. If you're having a problem with bots or spam, you can add that on there. And then otherwise, these work exactly the same as pop-ups. The real difference is that the embed form sits in line on your page as opposed to popping a box over some portion of your WordPress site. All right, and then we're done with the test embed form. We can preview it. That's what it looks like. It won't pop up like that. It'll, like I said, it will be in line. Again, you can turn off double opt-in if you like. Here's your group. We're subscribing to a test group 10. This is a share URL. I'm not sure why you would want that, because it's an embed form. You wouldn't want to send people right to the URL for the form. What we want to do is put it into our content. And again, here is the code they give you, but as I said before, we're not using the code. We're going to hop over there in 1 minute, and we are going to use the Mailerlite plugin. So I just want to preview the promotions for you. I'm not going to build out a whole promotion. I'm just going to show you the preview here. So we're going to go with promo 2. And then these are the promos. These are pretty cool. So they're like pop-ups, but they give you some additional cool features, like this one with the scrolling numbers. It's pretty cool. This is very similar to a pop-up, just without the email names here. Again, another coupon type form with a countdown timer. Very cool. Here's another coupon, or to take them to, if you have a shop, this could pop up and say, hey, we're having a sale on an item. Why don't you go check this item out? Click on the button, take you to the item. Here's a download one. These are all pretty cool. They're very similar to the pop-ups, but just with a different look and feel to them. This was one I did an experiment on. It looked pretty cool. It actually pops up from the bottom of the screen. I'll show you that in a second. Here's another one. This is a like us on Facebook, a social pop-up. So they have a bunch of these in here. They're very cool. So I'm going to go back. I guess I will show you this because I can't back out of it. Oh, I can back out of it. All right, so let me show you this promotion I created the other day just so you can see it in action. It's pretty cool. When we click on it, you get the preview. It pops out over here, comes sliding out of the screen. You could put your photo or whatever in there, and then presumably you would click this button and it would take you to a landing page. Or if you're not interested, you just close it. So that's how that works. It's pretty cool. Now we are ready to head back over to WordPress and get those pop-ups and embed forms working. There's just one thing that you need to do to activate that Mailerlite plugin, and that is you want to go over here to your site, to your menu, and you want to click on integrations. And then you want to take this Mailerlite API, and you want to go in here to this developer API, and once you click on it, in the very top of it is going to show you an API key. You're going to copy that API key, and I'm going to show you where to put it. And that is how it links up your WordPress site plugin with your account on Mailerlite, is through that API key. So just click that button and copy that API key. Then we hop over to our WordPress site, and our Mailerlite is down here. After we've installed the Mailerlite, it'll be down here. You'll get sign up form, setting, and status. If you go to settings, which is where I'm at now. It says enter your API key. Now this isn't showing my entire API key. It's going to be a long number. You're going to paste it in here and save it. Now you're good to go. The plugin is all ready and ready to work again. So now we build a pop-up, and if we want our pop-up to work, we don't have to do anything special. The only thing you have to do to get your pop-up to work now that you have your plugin working, it's so simple, is you come over here to Mailerlite pop-ups, disabled, you're going to click enable. Okay? And that's going to change to green, enabled. That's it, we're done. The plugin has handled everything. We don't need that code snippet. We don't do anything. Our plugin is now active. So let's go check that out. I'm going to open this in a new link so that we can see this. This is my blog. Now, remember, when we built the pop-up, we did a couple of things. We said you got to scroll 50% of the way down, or we got to try to leave this page. So they're the two trigger mechanisms. And we said we would only see it once per day. But what I did is when I was paused for a minute, I went back in just for demo purposes, and I changed that setting from one time a day to always, just so you could see. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to demonstrate this to you because I have already had it for today. So I wanted to undo that so that I could just show it to you. So I disabled that setting for now, but I don't recommend showing it more than one time a day anyway, because I just think it's annoying when you do that. But you could try it and see how it works for you. So here's the first one, the exit intent. If I try to leave this screen, I'm going to move my mouse up here to close my browser, and there's our test pop-up, just like that. We didn't have to do anything but enable it. So now I close it. Now I'm going to scroll down, and hopefully we'll get that again as I start to scroll down. We get about, maybe not. Okay, so let me refresh the page. And let me start to scroll down. There it goes. So it's only going to give it one time per person per page either way with that setting. So I had to refresh the page. But there you go. I got about, here's my bar. The top of the bar is about 50%. And then boom, there comes our pop-up. So I'm just going to close that. I've already subscribed to my list, testing these out a few times. We don't want to do that again. So I'm going to hop back over here to the Mailerlite. Now we're going to show you how to make the embed form. So from your Mailerlite menu, you click on the sign up forms. It's going to show you, I created a couple forms earlier when I was playing with this initially. So to create your embed form, you hit add new. Then you have two options here. You have a custom sign-up form or forms created in Mailerlite. We created our form in Mailerlite a few minutes ago, so we can go with that option. If you want to go with this option, you actually can bypass doing it in Mailerlite and just do it totally from scratch right in your WordPress site. I like doing it in Mailerlite because you get the templates and all. And it's a little, the GUI is a little bit easier to use, but I don't want to make it sound like this is that difficult at all. It's still really not that difficult. It's actually not difficult at all. But since we already created the form, I don't want to go back through that process. We're just going to use the one we created. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to hit create form. It's going to bring me in here. Here's the name. We're going to give the form a name. We don't want to use that default name because I have a much better name, and it's Test Embed. That's a great name. Actually, I'm going to put a 1 there to make it stylish. So down here at web form, these are all the forms that I have in my Mailerlite account. So once we entered that API key, it's now linked up. It's synced with my Mailerlite account. So here's the form that we just created earlier, this test embed form. I'm going to select that, and that's going to pop up. Remember, we left the gray color on it. I called it test form. Didn't do much customization of it, so that's what it looks like. Now we're done. We're basically done with this screen. It's pulled in our embed form for us. The only thing we want to do is we want to take note of this. This is a short code, and this is how we're going to get the embed code onto our WordPress pages. We're going to take this short code. I'm going to copy it to remember it for later, and then I'm going to hit save form. Now what I'm going to do is I want to create a new page. So I'm just creating a test page to put my embed form on. So I have the Elementor plugin installed, so that's what I'm going to use to do it. I recommend using some kind of page builder. Elementor is my favorite. I think it's really great. They have a great free version that you can install and use. So I'm going to use that right now. This is going to bring me into my page editor. Now remember, I copied that to my clipboard, that short code. So to get my embed form to display, I'm going to add a block in Elementor. So I'm going to just give this a heading. Oh, it helps if I spell it correctly. Yikes. All right, so there's my heading. And then in order to get the form, this is how we do that. So we're going to scroll down here to General, and we're going to take this element called a shortcode, and we're going to drop that shortcode there. And then I'm going to paste in the shortcode from that embed form. There it is, Mailerlite form ID 6. Now I'm going to publish that. Now our form's in there, right? So I could have put that form anywhere. I could put it on the sidebar. I could put it right in the middle of a bunch of content. As a matter of fact, I'll show you. I'm going to add an image too. Let's add an image. So we'll just add an image. Choose my image. Hey, this guy's face looks good. There we go. That is not me, by the way, as you can tell. I don't have that big kind of beard game going. That's quite the beard. So I'm going to update this, and we can keep adding content. We can add text. If this was like a regular blog post, we could type our whole blog post and stick this little, you stick this little embed code anywhere. And then what happens is I'm going to preview these changes. You won't see the embed code in the editor. There's our pop-up again, because remember I disabled the one-time setting. But here's our embed form now, down here. So we got cool free stuff, we got a picture of this guy, and then we got the embed code right in the middle of it all. And again, I talked earlier about setting the background. If I had set the background white and left it white, this would just appear the same as these blocks over here. Like it would just appear as part of the page. You wouldn't even tell that it's its own little square. So you could have text and images all around it, whatever you need, and then just plug this little form in there. And sometimes when I make the embed forms, I would even get rid of this stuff and add that on my own through WordPress, because what all you really need are your capture field and your button. And remember, you can hook that subscribe button up to take you to another page on your WordPress site after they click it. And that's how simple that is. So that's it for this video on how to use a Mailerlite free account to create those pop-up and embed forms and get them over to your WordPress site. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you have any questions at all, just drop a comment down below and I will reply to you there and try to help you out. And if you want to see more videos like this, just go ahead and subscribe to this channel and hit the little bell notification icon, and then you'll be notified next time I do any kind of videos or any kind of tutorials on Mailerlite. So thanks for watching and have a great day.